All right, everybody, welcome to the Never Diet Again and Love Every Ounce of Your Life webinar. I am so excited that you are here. I can't wait to share this information with you, and I can't wait to support you on your health and fitness journey. A little bit about me. I am a personal trainer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a yoga teacher. And I'm a nutrition consultant. So I'm here to help guide you guys along the way and share with you as much as I possibly can. I want to share with you my mind and all of the information that I can within this next hour. So grab a pen and paper and let's go ahead and get started. Oops. Well, just so you guys know who I am, my name is Liz Nierzwicki. I am the owner and creator of Solace Yoga Studio here in Mishawaka, Indiana. I founded Solace in 2010 and opened in January of 2011. I'm the mother to Vincent. You see him here in the top picture. He is now 12 years old, and I am a single mother, and that was actually a by choice. At the time, his dad did not want to have any kids and said, you know what, you're going to have to do this on your own if you want to have this baby, because I think it was just his way of kind of pushing me to, not have the baby. And I decided to go ahead and do that anyways and have my son. And good thing everything has turned out wonderful, because the dad is a wonderful dad, and he came around when I was 5 months along and said, all right, I'm going to be a good dad no matter what. And he has been ever since. So life is good. My son is fantastic. He's 12 years old now, and he's got two parents that absolutely love him. I am a fitness model. I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm also a personal trainer and nutritionist. I help people with their diets. I help people with losing weight. I also have studied psychology and nutrition science, and I help people break bad habits. I call myself a bad habit breaking coach, and I'm here to help you guys along that journey. I'm in the process of finishing my first book, writing my second book about breaking bad habits, and I can't wait to share both of those with you. So today what we're going to cover is your basal metabolic rate and your total daily energy expenditure, your TDEE. Why you need to know your macros, possible problems that might be going on with your health and your gut, and why you might be experiencing autoimmune disorders, allergies. Maybe your body is just absolutely resistant to losing weight. We're going to cover that here today as well. I'm going to teach you how to become a fat burning machine. So instead of being operating on carbs, I'm going to talk to you about how to become a fat burning machine. And that means burning the fats that you eat and stored body fat so that you regulate your energy and you have a very good steady energy as you become a fat burning machine. I'm also going to teach you how to work out minimally with the best results by training your body's energy systems. So here we go. Let me get this thing out of my way over here, my big bar. And let's go ahead and get started. So grab a pen and paper. And once again, if you have any questions, you're going to ask those over on the right in that GoToWebinar control panel. Here we go. So today, I want to talk to you just a little bit about how long have you been dieting. For some people, I know they have been dieting their whole life, or they're on a diet once a month, or they're fasting, or they're juicing, or they're low carbing it. And you know what? Dieting sucks. And to be in that mentality to always be on a diet is something that really needs to get kicked to the curb. And we want to learn to love our life, to love it, to be able to enjoy it, to be able to go to a family get together and have some snacks if we want to, and not feel like we have to deprive ourselves. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So why not figure out the solution once and for all? Enjoy the foods that you eat. Learn how to move your body daily based on what works for you, and then love your life. If you're restricting calories, you're going to fail at your diet. You're going to be miserable, and you're eventually going to gain weight. It's that simple. This isn't rocket science, so I am here to help you. And, when I talk about dieting and restricting calories, there is one single thing that you need to know and why you will never diet again. And we're going to talk about that now. So, what happened? What changed for us? Our ancestors, they were able to eat and have a relatively low body fat percentage, and they had great health. But what happened? Farming is a wonderful thing that happened for a country, but it also became very detrimental to us in many aspects because high fructose corn syrup started to make its way into all of the foods that we ate. And we were really sold that we needed to have grains and we needed to have corn and we needed to have low sugar and no fat because the fat and the cholesterol and the fat is what was harming us. So all of these things happen in the early parts of the 1900s, and it changed the way that our economy, it was a boom for our economy, but it actually changed the way we ate for the worse. We became people who ate the standard American diet, and we started to eat man-made foods. We started to eat sugars. We started to have low fat, and all of that started to create major problems in our bodies. And then what happened, you can see in the 1990s, less than 14% of our population was obese. And simply 10 years later, that number doubled in most of the country. In the entire country, actually, it doubled. And 10 years over that, it doubled again. In some areas, it quadrupled. You guys, the agricultural revolution, the foods, the sugars, the low fat, and the high carb diets were starting to kill us and make us obese. So grains have gluten, and these gluten particles disrupt the epithelial wall of your intestines, and that causes leaky gut. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Sugar is detrimental. It causes candida in the body, lowers your immune system, and it creates diabetes and other health issues. Fat, a low-fat diet was detrimental to us because we started replacing the fat with the sugars and the carbohydrates. We need healthy fat for brain function. We need healthy fats to rebuild every single cell that is remade in your body. Your hormones, the testosterone, the progesterone, the estrogen, those need fat to simply work, okay? So we're going to talk about that again here in a minute. How to never diet again. Now, this is really important information. If you know your basal metabolic rate, you know your total daily energy expenditure, then you really don't need to diet again. All you need to do is kind of watch what calories you're having by the fats and the sugars that you're taking in, okay? So never diet again by knowing your macronutrient needs. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about this more throughout this whole entire webinar, but you can figure out your macros, or you can have me figure those out for you by going to figurefitlife.com, clicking on the shop tab, and selecting calculate my macros, and I will figure those out for you. You'll need to go to the homepage of my website and fill out the jumpstart form so that I can get your height and weight and health details. And that way I'd be able to create that for you. But let's go ahead and dive into what the macros are. Your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, is the number of calories that your body is going to burn every single day, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're laying in bed all day, your body still has calories that it needs, and your brain takes about 20% of those calories of that basal metabolic rate. Okay, so this is the amount that you need every single day just to exist, just to be alive. You add on top of the BMR your daily energy expenditure. That will give you your total daily energy expenditure. Okay, a number of things affect your BMR, such as exercise, how much exercise you do, the foods that you eat. You've all heard that some foods boost your metabolism. Gender, age, your stress. Stress is a huge factor in raising and lowering cortisol levels, which ultimately affects your metabolic rate. Your sleep quality, this also affects your basal metabolic rate. Hormones and other issues as well. So when you have your basal metabolic rate, and then you have your total daily energy expenditure based on how much you're moving, walking, running, sitting, whatever it is, you get what's called the TDEE. This is your total daily energy expenditure. And in order to never diet again, you need to know this number and you need to hit it every single day. In order to never diet again, you can play with the fats and the carbohydrates. Essentially, you can cycle and trick your body. And it's not really tricking it. It's just your body is going to pull from carbohydrates. It's going to pull from stored body fat, or it's going to pull from the fat in your diet. The one thing that remains the same is the protein. That needs to remain the same. Okay. So 140-pound male versus 120-pound female, they need different needs for their protein, and they need different carbohydrate levels as well, and fat. So let's talk a little bit more about these numbers, and particularly in terms of stress and calorie killing. Stress, it is detrimental to our bodies. In some cases, it's okay, but too much of it, obviously, is a bad thing. I actually had shingles when I was 32. It was one of the worst things that I had ever gone through in my entire life. It hurt so bad, and I had it in the top right corner of my head, up near my eye and my temple. Just when the wind was blowing at me, I felt like I was being hit in the head. It hurt so bad, and this was all due to stress. Stress can make you gain weight. Stress can cause shingles. Stress can lower your immune system. Stress can make you not sleep. So stress can cause all sorts of diseases. And so it is actually proven that stress is directly related to weight gain. In addition, stress keeps you stuck. Neuroscientists have actually learned that when we are self-critical, we actually activate the same areas of the brain that would be activated if somebody was physically hurting you. The neuroscientists watched the brains of people under brain scanners, and they showed them images, or they actually hurt them. They put their hand in ice water, and it hurts, it burns. And so the same area of the brain was lit up as the area of the brain when they were actually critical towards themselves. And so what happens when we get like that is we shut down. Our body's decision-making ability pretty much shuts down, and our body goes into protection mode. Okay? The only way that we get out of that is through self-compassion, through self-love, and through reaching out and getting support from people who either have gone through it before or who understand what we're going through. Self-compassion is the means and the way to any successful change. Self-criticism is not. I do talk a lot about this in my 3-week meditation e-course, and also my upcoming Breaking Bad Habits e-course that we'll be launching here soon. So I want you just to understand that, self-compassion is the way to go about this life that you're living. And when you mess up and when you fail, because we just do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I fail, especially if I have like a photo shoot coming up, and if there's Twix or something that I see, I'm like, oh, I just want to eat it. And if I eat it, I can't beat myself up. I have to say, okay, well, I did it. Now it's time to move on and make a better decision next time. Okay, so the macronutrients, back to that. Macros are the nutrients that provide the calories and the energy to your body. They are the macro. Macro means major, large. Nutrients are substances needed for growth, metabolism, and other body functions. Since macro means large, macronutrients are needed in large quantities, and those break down to be fat, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, the amount of calories per gram of carbohydrate, fat, and protein varies. Carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram, protein provides 4, and fat provides 9 calories per gram. The micronutrients are within the macronutrients. So some foods are very rich in micronutrients, such as kale, spinach, spirulina. All of those things are very dense. They have a lot of micronutrients and vitamins and minerals in them, phytochemicals and antioxidants that are actually good for your health. And then we have very calorie poor foods, such as fast foods or reheated foods that have been reheated in the microwave. Those are actually very nutrient poor, and they don't have any micronutrients left. The quality of the nutrients vary greatly depending on what you eat, whether it's processed foods. They have more macronutrients, but a lot less micronutrients. So, as I mentioned before, if you guys are interested, I can calculate your macros for you, or you can do it on your own and figure that out by, Googling it and taking a look at what's out on the internet. But I'm happy to do that for you. It's actually only $25 on my website. You can head to figurefitlife.com, click on the shop page, and purchase Calculate My Macros. Right now it says Know My Macros, but it's actually Calculate My Macros. And I'm just going to keep moving on. And this way, you will know your numbers and you will not need to worry about dieting again. I do recommend tracking yourself every now and then through an application, either on your computer or on your phone. I use MyFitnessPal. And in the beginning, when I set it up, I put my height and my weight and my macros based on my height and weight. And so then I plug in my foods every now and then just to get a baseline and to see where I'm at. And sometimes when I have just been really not caring too much about my macros, I find that I'm way over. And I have to reel it in, maybe get rid of some of the nuts that I've been eating because those calories add up fast. Maybe up my protein if I've been kind of lazy with that. And so it's really helpful to know this information. Okay, so let's talk about what is going on and why maybe you might not be able to lose weight. There are many different issues and things that do go on with our bodies, especially if we've been eating the standard American diet. Why can't I lose the weight? I've heard this so many times from thousands of clients. And, there's a number of things that actually could be going on. I'm going to talk about a couple of them here. So first thing I want to talk about is leptin. Oh boy, leptin. Leptin is a hormone that is natural to our body, and our fat cells actually make this hormone called leptin, and also ghrelin. Leptin is just one of them. Leptin is a hormone that talks to your brain. It tells your brain that you're full. It tells your brain that you have plenty of fat stored in the body and to keep your metabolism going and to keep operating normally because it doesn't need to store any more fat. Okay? When you have a famine, when your body is fasting, or let's say our ancestors, when they couldn't find food for a couple of days, they would go into a famine. So the body's fat storages actually shrink as their body begins to burn stored body fat. Then what happens is the leptin tells your brain to eat, okay? It also then tells your brain to slow the metabolism down. And once you do eat, to store more fat, to save it because the body thinks that you are starving, okay? So once you get out of that famine, everything begins to regulate as you slowly begin to eat food again. Now, what happens is, and what has happened in a major form in our society is leptin resistance. What happens is the brain no longer hears the call of leptin, and you find that you're always hungry and that the body is becoming a body fat storage machine. You're going to see this a lot with people who are overweight. They might say, gosh, you know what, I still feel hungry. Or they might have those late night runs to get something sweet because they're craving it. Well, what's happening is we've done this, through a poor diet, through stress, through drinking or, toxic use. Some of the ways that we've done this is by overworking ourselves as well. A lot of people who they diet, they starve themselves, and then they go for a 5-mile run. And so what happens is the body thinks it's starving. It shuts down the metabolism, and everything you eat gets stored as fat. Does it make sense? You're voluntarily overworking your body, okay? It just doesn't make sense. It's just burning the candle at both ends. Some other reasons for leptin resistance could be, just a major reduction in calories. And your body thinks it's starving, so it's going to store fat, okay? Insulin issues. So maybe you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. Maybe you have candida issues. And candida is a very well-known problem, actually not well-known in the terms of everyday society, but in the nutrition community, over 60% of the people that are tested have a candida problem, a candida overgrowth. Maybe you have low energy levels. Maybe you have a white tongue and you are low energy, always craving sugars, can't seem to lose the weight. This could be a candida overgrowth, and we got to fix that. You could have, maybe you're drinking too much alcohol. Maybe you're sleep deprived and you're only getting 4 hours of sleep a night, or broken sleep, which is just as bad as not getting enough sleep. Maybe you're eating wheat or you're overeating, possibly increased triglycerides due to eating refined carbohydrates, or even fructose. Fructose or excess high fructose corn syrup is a very big cause of leptin resistance, okay? Some people think they're eating healthy, but they're eating way too many carbohydrates, and this also can create leptin resistance. So it's important that you guys really dig deeper. As I studied nutrition science in college, I learned a little bit about this, but not enough. And you know what, you guys, I learned just as much as doctors, but I went on and I got an undergraduate degree in nutrition science. So I learned more than my physician. My physician actually refers his patients to me so that I can help them with their diet, because he knows I know more than he does. Most physicians only have one class in their entire education for becoming a medical doctor. Okay. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and there was a lady who went to Harvard, and she said, she thinks the reason why they don't really put so much value on the nutrition, and she totally believes in studying nutrition, that it's all about food. That's her mindset. But it wasn't her schooling. It wasn't her teaching at Harvard. And she said because at Harvard, they're so interested in the latest and greatest breakthrough and gene expression and drugs and how that affects our gene expression. But she knows that the basis of all of this is nutrition. Okay. So nutrition is so important for you just to really understand. If you have any sort of health issues, if you have allergies, if you have acne, or if your kids have acne, it's not normal, and it's related to the food that you're putting into your body. An apple is not an apple anymore. A steak is not a steak anymore because of all the antibiotics that are being pumped into these animals. They're not humanely raised. They're not eating grass-fed. They're not grass-fed. They're eating grains. And we're ingesting all of that if we're eating the standard American diet foods. So how you get your food, where you get your food, it all matters. There's pesticides and chemicals that are ruining the quality of the foods that we eat, and our body does not know how to break those foreign substances down. When we focus on eating healthy foods such as fish, free-range chickens, grass-fed cow meat, steaks, bison, we can ensure that, and we can ensure that our meat was ethically raised. That's going to be a better quality meat to ingest. Okay. It always is going to start with you guys, and you need to be able to demand the best, not purchase the junk that is being sold in our grocery stores, because the more demand there is, the lower the price will go. Okay. So I just want to give that a little plug. And there's a really great movie if you guys want to watch it. It's called Vegucated. I'm not a vegan, and I just choose to eat meat, but I choose to eat ethically raised meat, grass-fed beef, and a lot of fish and a lot of seafood. But Vegucated is a great movie that will open your eyes to the meat industry in the United States. And also many other countries are starting this as well. So we have to demand that our meats are raised better. So another thing that could be going on because of insulin resistance could be a problem, and maybe that's a reason why you can't lose weight. Excessive carbohydrate intake and a sedentary lifestyle is a very big cause of insulin resistance. So these are some of the problems that are happening when you're insulin resistant. Heart attacks, strokes, inflammation of the liver, fatty liver disease, elevated triglycerides, low good cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, diabetes, increase of the fat around your waist, neurological problems, constipation, not being able to go to the bathroom, or IBD, or having a big sway between constipation and diarrhea. blood clot risk, hormone problems, sleep apnea. All these are due to excessive carbohydrate intake. And when we are insulin resistant, that means our body is no longer hearing the call of insulin. So insulin tells the body to store the nutrients within the fat cell. Okay. So when you're insulin resistant, the cellular communication breaks down, and you begin to, once again, store more fat, and this communication between the cell and the insulin is not happening anymore. Okay, so it's really important to understand that excessive carbohydrates is not needed. And as a matter of fact, we only need 1 teaspoon of glucose in our blood supply at any given time. Anything more than that is toxic, and the body will store it as fat. Okay, 1 teaspoon, you guys. That's it. So what can we do? We got to take our power back. We have to learn how to eat properly. We need to learn what these good foods are for us and learn what could be problematic for us. I'm going to tell you a little story. I have on my program, the figureFIT lifestyle program is a whole program that is based here to help you figure out what foods might be a problem for you. I give you workouts, I give you yoga, I give you meditations, I give you recipes, unlimited support, and we have a private community. So obviously these two beauties are here to help inspire you, because I want you to have this model of what you see yourself as and begin to live a life that walks you down that path and helps you to become the best version of yourself. Okay. My personal tools are mindset training. I'm a bad habit breaker. When I see myself developing a bad habit around anything, I go through the process of breaking a bad habit or making any sort of change. I'm a goal setter, and I teach my community to set goals and to break bad habits and create new life affirming and healthy habits. How to deal with setbacks, how to deal with what to do when you fall off the wagon, how to get back on track, and then how to plan for failures. If you've got a wedding coming up or a week's vacation and you know that you're going to want to just eat like a crazy person or have some mimosas every day, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to plan for that? And how are you going to build in these tools into that vacation so that you can both enjoy yourself and also not feel guilty? On my program, I do gut health healing and nutritional healing. I also teach people how to become a fat burner, to slowly wean off the carbohydrates and get to a level of carbohydrates that is sustainable for your body. Because like I said before, we don't need that many carbohydrates. We need some, yes, for our brain and for the glucose that is stored in our muscles to help us move and to help us, through our workouts. But more than that is toxic, and we don't need it. The body burns fat just as well as it does carbohydrates, and it's actually a better energy source for you. Also, my tools are workouts. I burn fat the right way with energy system training, and I'll talk to you more about that here in a minute. But I want to talk to you guys about leaky gut and what could possibly be going on in your small intestine. So when we eat things such as gluten, or if we have taken antibiotics recently, we might have a thinning of the epithelial wall in the small intestine, which is what you see here, and that creates leaky gut. Leaky gut is when it swells. There's inflammation in the small intestinal wall, and when there is swelling, it gets bigger, right? So when it gets bigger, particles that you eat get through those little fingers in the intestinal wall, and they get into your bloodstream. And then when they're in your bloodstream, these food particles and these toxins or sugars or gluten, the body attacks them. And it sees this as a threat, and it starts to build antibodies, and it attacks these foreign particles. And then what happens is a host of problems. So it could be anything from being overweight, but usually it's worse than that. Usually it's allergies. It could be candida. It could be chronic yeast infections. It could be allergies. It could be simple as eye allergies or losing, I'm not going to go with that one, but it could be I was going to say losing your hair. Well, that could be. Usually it's an autoimmune disorder. It can create gout, arthritis, sometimes as serious as diabetes and other problems such as Hashimoto's. So any problem that you have, any health issue that you have, it's really important that you stop and you say, what is my diet like? Am I eating gluten? Am I eating dairy? Am I eating corn? Am I eating genetically modified foods that have been raised and grown by farmers and our government and Monsanto? It's really important for you to stop and take a look at your diet and see what's going on. So science has really started to understand and discover that we are actually the host of these trillions of cells that live in our small and large intestine. This is known as our gut microbiome. And in the gut microbiome is a host of good cells and bad cells. If we have an overgrowth of the bad, why am I drawing a blank on this word? Not good bacteria, bacteria. Okay. Drawing a blank, talking too much. Good and bad bacteria. So if we have an overgrowth of the bad bacteria, then we're going to be out of balance and we are going to get sick. This is just the bottom line. And really, science has started to learn that if you're sick at all, there's a problem in your gut, period. It's not genetics, because we have actually been able to see that genetics is one of the least important factors in determining your health. If you are sick, it's 9 times out of 10, A, because you have leaky gut, B, because you have an overgrowth of the bad bacteria, and we need to fix the bacteria in your gut in order to help you get healthy. Once we fix the gut microbiome, 9 times out of 10, you're healthy. If you can't get healthy past that point, it could be genes, okay? But even then, we have the ability to change our genome and our genetic structure and to fix ourselves with proper foods. So that's may sound like a stretch, but just stay tuned, you guys, because it's a very big topic in the science community and the holistic health practitioners. There's so many people talking about this in the paleo community. I'm actually getting ready to speak at Paleo FX in Austin, Texas this April. And this is where all of these physicians are coming together and sharing all the clinical studies and everything that they know about the gut microbiome and our gene expression and how it actually changes through nutrition and through our environment and what we do, what we even think. Our thoughts create form as well. So this is just, it's big, it's huge, and it's bigger than anybody has ever given it credit for. So it's really important to begin to understand that your gut microbiome, the small intestines, the good and bad bacteria in your gut, are really the cause of your good and bad health. So I'm just going to break it down to that. Following the figureFIT program, you guys, you will become a bad habit breaker and a goal smasher. On my program, I talk to you about the yes and no foods to eat, the problems that you might have and how to fix them. You can become a fat burner by becoming lower with your carbohydrates and learning about your macros and eating within your macronutrient range. You'll enjoy amazing energy by fixing your gut and your health problems and becoming a fat burner. It's more of a sustained energy source. You'll become the picture of health. Your friends, your spouse, and everyone will look at you and say, "What are you doing? Help me." You will heal yourself and you are going to love your life and become very happy. All right, so members of my program get a food guide, a step-by-step approach to helping you figure out what's going on with your digestion, and then we can also retrain your cells and genes to live a healthy life. In addition, my members, they get 3 workouts per month. So I'm going to go into this a little bit more with you here in a minute, but I'm just going to breeze through this really quickly just so that you know about it. You get a nutrition guide to follow, recipes, meditations to help you with your mindset, yoga videos for stretching and peace of mind and stress, group coaching calls, just like this webinar today. I do these monthly to help the members focus and reach their goals and really answer any questions that they have. There's a private group page for members, and this is where it happens, you guys. When you lock arms with people who are on the same mission as you, your chances of success are way better than they are if you were to do this alone, and you have unlimited support. So let's talk about becoming a fat burning machine. In order to become a fat burning machine, I've talked to you about this a little bit here. We begin to lower the carbohydrates. So let's say you are primarily running on carbohydrates. Well, we're going to slowly wean you off carbohydrates as we learn what your macros are. We're going to slowly get you eating your maximum protein, which is what you should be eating every day, regardless. That's the one number that does not change. And then we learn your carbohydrate number and your fat. And between those two numbers, we up your carbs someday and we lower your carbs someday. On the days we lower the carbs, we up the fat. On the days we up the fat, we lower the carbohydrates, vice versa. Okay. So it is possible to begin to change the way your body processes calories. It's slow. I always tell people, give your body about 3 weeks to go through this fat burning process of becoming a fat burner, especially if you're a high carb eater. You want to slowly figure out what your macros are, begin to eat your protein every single day. That number does not change. And then slowly begin to lower your carbohydrates. If you find yourself being kind of foggy headed or low energy, then just have a little bit of carbohydrates, a good source of carbohydrates after your workout or when you feel that you need them, just to give you that little boost, and you'll begin to level out. But like anything, change takes a little bit of time. So first things first, we got to find out what your macros are, and then we begin there. The next thing is working out smarter. I did talk about one of the things I was going to cover today is how to work out minimally with the maximum results. Okay, so when we work out, it's important for us to work out properly. And what does that mean? We're going to train the body's energy systems. The body has 3 energy systems, and all of those macros that you eat, they convert to calories, they convert to energy, and that's what you operate off of. Okay, so let's take a look at that. The body's energy conversion system looks like this. Let's say you were going to go out for a sprint. You're going to go outside, you're going to say, I'm going to run as fast and as hard as I possibly can for the next, till I putter out, okay? From seconds 0 to 10, the first energy system is ATP, okay? This is your first responder. This is burnt through, this energy. It's like a fuel. Let's think of gasoline for the car. It's burnt through in less than 10 seconds. ATP, okay? Everything is converted into ATP, okay? The second responder is through seconds 10 through normally 60 to 75 seconds. This is your glycolytic system. This is your carbohydrates that are stored in the muscles of the body. And remember, we only have a certain amount that we can store. And normally for the average person, that's about 400 grams, 400 grams of carbohydrates that we can store. Anything above that is toxic and the body gets rid of it, or it stores it as fat. Okay. Fat is also a converter to energy. So fat gets converted into glycogen, and then glycogen gets converted into ATP, and then that is your fuel. Okay. The third responder is 75 seconds and above. This is your oxidative system. This is oxygen. Okay. So you're processing oxygen, and that's turning stored fat into fuel or stored glucose into fuel. It's turning it into the ATP that your body is using to move. Okay. So some ways to increase this, and this is the only way to boost your metabolism in the long term, is by training the body's energy systems. Okay. When we train the energy systems like the figureFIT workouts, we work really hard and then we stop and take a break. We work really hard again, and we stop and take a break. When we're working really hard, we're working the first and second energy system, the ATP and the glycolytic system. When we're working those systems, we're increasing our VO2 max and our excess post-oxygen consumption, the EPOC. Our VO2 max really has a maximum for our height, for our age and our height and weight. So we pretty much have a VO2 max, and that can be trained and increased. But once we get to a place where we're at our max, it's going to be our max. And the EPOC is our excess post-oxygen consumption. So let's say we did that sprint. We went outside and we sprinted for 20 seconds, as hard as we possibly could. At the end of that, you are going to want to bend over and huff and puff and suck in that oxygen. When you are doing that, that is called EPOC. That's called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, okay? Your body is pulling in that oxygen to help your body refuel, to re-energize, to get the oxygen in, to help you breathe again, to help your body get back to homeostasis, all right? And so when we're working out the figureFIT program, you see this workout here. This is, for example, February workout number 3. There's a first green section, those 3 workouts, 3-part squat medley, plank, tricep kickback, and then dumbbell bench press. We do one exercise and we go straight to the next and straight to the next. Once we're done with those 3, we take about a 1-minute break, and then we start over. We go back to the 3-part squat medley and do all 3 exercises back to back to back again. Take another minute break, and then do it again one last time. So we do all 3 of those exercises, and then we take a break. We do all 3 again, take another break, do all 3 again one last time, and take a break. Once we're done with those 3, we move on to the next set of exercises, and we do it exactly the same way that we did the first 3, okay? This is a way to train those first and second energy systems. Now, some of my members and people who start my program, they say, okay, well, what if, I only have 15 minutes to work out? Some days I have an hour, some days I only have 15 minutes, but I still want to work out. I tell them to go through the whole thing one time through, and boom, they're done, okay? So that's what the members on my program get. They get those workouts, and they get 3 per month. Actually, I'm going to go back to that real quick. You get 3 per month. So this would be workout number 3 out of the 3. And you can see you do it 1 week. In week 2, you do it again. In week 3, you do it that amount of times. And in week 4, you do it that amount of times. So over the course of the month, you're trying to get faster, and you're actually trying to do another set. And this is a way of personal training. Some weeks you do 3 sets of 12. Some weeks you do 4 sets of 15, or even 4 sets of 10. And that's just a way of changing up your workout and just kind of switching it up so your body doesn't get used to what you're doing. So you guys, here we go. There is no price tag that can compare to your health and being healthy and being happy. Nothing can compare. So I just really want to find a way to help you in whatever it is you're dealing with right now, whether it be your nutrition, whether it be you're overweight and you want to lose weight. Maybe you have a very bad habit of binge eating. Maybe you're a smoker and you really just want to quit smoking and develop new healthy habits. Well, let's do it. There's nothing holding you back, okay? The cost of my program is not this, but I want to show you this. A personal trainer like me, if you were to hire me at my studio, it'd be $75 per hour. I would recommend doing these 3 workouts per week, so it'd be about $225 a week. A nutritionist is going to cost you a minimum just to begin, $149 just to do an initial consultation, minimum. Nutrition plans are usually $399 up to, who knows, depending on what's going on with you. Meditations and yoga classes are about $20 per class. And private coaching, help, getting support in getting your questions answered. I've been on programs like this, and they don't know what they're doing. This is in the past, and I've been on programs where I hired a coach, and they were known to be the best of the best, and I would email them, and never hear back from them. So you get private coaching can be upwards of $199 per hour. With my program, you get unlimited support in the member community, okay? I do have private coaching clients. So if that's something above and beyond this program, we can talk about that as well. So you guys are looking at about a $1,500 minimum monthly investment. Okay. Like I said, you don't get support on those other programs. You're kind of left in the dark, and it's trial and error, you know. Not every one person is the same. So it's really a matter of, trial and error, seeing what works for you, and also getting support along the way. And being able to check in with somebody and saying, okay, I've done this and this and this, but here's where I'm at. What else can I do? Or I'm feeling like maybe I shouldn't be eating this particular thing because when I eat it, I can't breathe very well. So it's about having somebody to hold your hand along the way and help to guide you. We have a community. This is Krista. She is from Canada. I absolutely love her. She's on the program, and if you join, you'll be able to meet her, and she will be a great support and coach for you because she's just doing such a wonderful job with this. She says, I spent so much time trying to please others, and she lost connection with herself. She made herself a priority by joining figureFIT. She loves the community, and she loves helping other people out. Look at this, you guys. So this represents something that I eat on a regular basis. Steak and eggs for breakfast and with a side of bacon. And then the one on the right is protein pancakes with pecans, maple syrup, and real butter. You do not have to diet if you're doing the right things and you're eating the right kinds of food, okay? It's time to get it right. I want to help you. I want to help you love your life, love the foods that you're eating, and never feel like you have to deprive yourself again. My program's not $1,500 a month. It's $69 per month. That's it. It's the cost of less than one personal training session. And you receive all of this and so much more. Nutrition help, a yes-no food list, recipes, the 3 workouts. I also give you my weightlifting workouts. So if you like to go to the gym and lift weights, boom, there you go. I give you yoga videos and a whole meditation library. This is something I am so passionate about. Remember when I told you I had shingles? Well, my doctor told me I was not doing enough for my stress levels. So I took on meditation as a daily practice. And I'll tell you what, you guys, it's changed my life. I love it. I swear I get more time every day because I'm so clear, crystal clear about what I am to do. I'm led. I feel like I'm led by my spirit, and I'm able to connect with people more. I'm much more self-aware than I have ever been in the past before meditation. You get unlimited support and questions answered in the private community. And once again, like I said, you get a tribe, you get a community of support and other people who are on this exact same program with you. So right now, I am enrolling for my 90-day transformation challenge. This is, you pay for 3 months upfront and you get access to winning the overall transformation. $300 cash and 3 free months on my program. I also interview all of the winners and promote them and help just support them in their goals. Do an interview and have them on my podcast, on the blog, and maybe a video that we create, or a special webinar podcast that we do. But it's just such a wonderful program, and people love joining a transformation. Okay. Some people do not like to be under fire, and they just don't like to do a challenge or something like this. So they like to do things a little bit slower pace, and I don't blame you because I'm kind of like that too when it comes to certain things. Other things, I love to have an ending goal because it gives me something to shoot for, and it makes me so razor focused, and it makes me very, very focused on what it is that I am to do. But the figureFIT Lifestyle program can be joined at any time during the month, any month, okay? But right now, through April 15th, I am joining I'm offering this 90-day transformation challenge access to it. We do have this challenge opening up different times throughout the year. So if you're watching this webinar during a time when it's maybe in the fall, whatever time you're watching this, if the 90-day transformation is up on the website, you can join it, okay? So I want you to become your after photo. This is one of my clients. She has done such an amazing transformation. She lost 45 pounds in 6 months, and her life is completely different. She loves her body. She has more energy to spend time with her kids, and I want you to become your after photo. Today's special offer for anybody that signs up for the 90-day transformation, I'm going to throw in a super shred diet for free, okay? So, what did I talk about earlier? Not dieting, right? Well, this is not a diet. It's a way to cycle your macros so that you burn the most amount of stored body fat in combination with any workouts that you're doing. So first, we need you to sign up for the 90-day transformation, and you also need to purchase the macros or know your own macros, okay? Once you know those numbers, the macros, you can cycle your carbohydrates and fat based on this super shred diet that you will get in your email, and you will be able to burn maximal amounts of fat. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today on this webinar. It's been a pleasure. And now for the last 10 minutes, I'm going to answer any questions that you have. You guys, if you're ready to sign up now, head over to figureFITlife.com. Click on the FigureFIT tab, and you can click on the prices tab, or you can click on the 90-day transformation and sign up right there. And if you're going to be purchasing the macros, you'll want to do that as well. Once you have selected the 90-day transformation, you'll be able to add that on in your shopping cart. And once I receive your purchase, I will email you your login details for the FigureFIT site so that you have access to the back end of the site, and you have access to the workouts, to my welcome note, to the nutrition guide, to the recipes, to the meditations and the yoga videos, and the list of all of the foods that could be problematic for you. So if you're ready to get rolling, head over to figurefitlife.com, sign up for the 90-day transformation, and I want to help you on this journey. I want to help you create the best body, the best health, and I want you to just be so happy, because you guys, perfect health and happiness are our birthright. It's our birthright to be happy. It's our birthright to be healthy. And if we're not, something has gone wrong, and it's time to fix it. Okay? So, a couple questions here that we have. Okay, Liz, if I sign up for the 90-day transformation, how many workouts per week do I do, and how often do I work out? So like I said before, you get 3 workouts per month. And what I would recommend that you do is those 3 workouts. For example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, you do workout 1. Wednesday, you do workout 2. Friday, you do workout 3. And in the beginning, that's it. Just do those workouts and see how it works for you. If after about a month, you have completed the workouts and you're able to get through the whole thing, and you want to do more, then we'll add in some lower forms of exercise, like walking, or walking on an incline, or an elliptical, or even just playing. Do something active with your family, or walking your dog, and maybe even adding in an extra high intense interval training class 1 time per week. Okay. That's it. Another question is, Liz, I want you to do my macros for me. On the macro program, I want you to do my macros for me. On the macro program, will I know my needs for for fat loss? Yes, you will. So I will create your macros based on your current height and weight. And then I'll also give you a caloric intake number for lowering those calories to have another number to hit based on your goal weight. Okay, so absolutely. Liz, I can't wait to start meditating. I have heard about your meditations, and I hear they're wonderful. Oh, thank you, Susan. I can't wait to have you on the program. Okay, Steve says, Liz, I already know my macros, but I would love to get your super shred diet, so I'm going to sign up for the 90-day transformation. Awesome, Steve. I can't wait to have you on the program. All right, you guys, that looks like that's it. Those are all the questions I have today. So I'm going to wrap up this webinar, and feel free to go to figurefitlife.com, kind of search through the website, and if you have any questions, go to the Contact Us form and send me an email, and I will get back to you. I can't wait to support you on this program, you guys. Much love to you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.